Hey y'all, I was out today doing some Instacart and I had a couple of things on my mind. One, I want to just talk about how I had thought that the Instacart game was over. But I realized it was all about timing and it was all about me transitioning. And what I had to do was get used to the job that I was working so that I can go back to working for Instacart. Now, as you know, the type of job that I have right now, it's very demanding. It's mentally and physically draining. I work with customer service, so I'm constantly in front of people and constantly doing sales and all of that. And so for the past 2.5 months, y'all, I have been completely wiped, drained. And so I was trying to go out and do Instacart, but I found that nothing was happening. Nothing was pinging, nothing was doing nothing. But I realized that I wasn't giving myself the time to go through a transitional phase, which means that I wasn't giving myself time to get acclimated to my new job. And I was thinking about transition today. Transition is never easy. Whether you're transitioning from a apartment to a household to a whole house, whether you're transitioning from being single to being married or being married to divorce, whatever that looks like for you, it's never easy. And we think that transitioning is supposed to be this thing where, oh, it's not supposed to be hard. But it is hard because you're literally living between two alternate realities, or you're living between two opinions, or you're living between two situations. And for me, I have been living between two situations for the last 1.5 years. When I tell you losing my mother, just took me to a place where, first of all, I didn't want to do anything. Second of all, I didn't think I had the strength to do anything. And then third of all, I felt hopeless and powerless. So I had to transition from having a mother to now not having a mother, to having that support and that love of a mother to not having it. And I do know that my mother loves me beyond, and I know she's still, in heaven rooting for me, but I don't have her physical presence. And so that's sort of what I've been going through. The other part is that I also had to make a huge move from an apartment to now a house. Going from paying rent to now paying mortgage. Going from just paying rent and PG&E to now paying PG&E water bill, garbage bill, and any other bill that's inside the house. Not coming in fully understanding that this is a whole nother level of maturity and a whole nother level of responsibility. And so transition is not always easy. It's hard. It's uncomfortable. It doesn't feel stable. It feels like you're unbalanced. It feels like you're overwhelmed. And it feels like you're in over your head, right? At least that was true for me. And so what I was realizing, that in the time of transition, you have to give yourself grace. You have to give yourself enough time to acclimate to your new set of circumstances. And I wasn't doing that. And I'm thinking to myself, it's been a year now. I should have been settled now. How many of you have thought about, you should have been settled now? This should have been done now. But oftentimes we don't give ourselves enough grace to allow ourselves to get acclimated to the new way of life. Whether that's you're single and now you're married. You went from being a single entity to being a dual entity. Now you're in it with someone else. And you're having to learn what married life looks like. Or perhaps you've been married for a long time and now you're divorced, and you were once married and now you're divorced, and you're transitioning, learning to do things all over again. And I think we don't give ourselves enough credit. We don't give ourselves enough grace. We're not patient with ourselves. We demean ourselves sometimes, like, you should have had this all together. But who said we should have had it all together? And that is like self-defeating talk. That's the enemy talking. That's people talking. And that is just your insecurity talking, right? And so I wanted to talk to you guys today about the whole thing of me transitioning. You know, now I'm back in a place where I'm trying to get stable. You know, I had to go from not clocking in to now clocking in, you know, dealing with people to dealing with even weirder people, you know, all those different things. And I find myself, like, even at my job, you know, these jobs are really weird now. They don't give you a transitional period, meaning that, you know, you're learning. And especially if they're not teaching you nothing, you know, they think you're supposed to know already. I don't know. I guess they think you're supposed to be an internal AI where you know it all and you just do it, right? Do it without mistakes. They claim, you know, oh no, you're going to make mistakes. But honey, at the same time, they'll cut you loose. They'll cut you loose. We are at an at-will state in California. But, and so much stress, right? You know, I often have been saying to myself, like, Kaysa, you should have gotten this all together. You should have had it by now. And when I look over the things that I've been through in my life, it's a wonderment that I'm still standing. It's the grace of God that I'm still standing. And I don't think that I've given myself enough credit to have gone through the things that I've been through in my life. You know, and I think that's true for most people, especially people that are perceived to be strong. We don't look at ourselves as strong. We just look at ourselves as adapting. That's how we look at ourselves, as adapting. I'm just adapting to it. I'm just trying to weather through it. I'm trying to transition through it. If you're in a state of transition right now, I want to encourage you. Give yourself a little bit of grace. Give yourself some patience. Give yourself some time. And let it unwind. Let it breathe for a minute. You know? Life is not always this bowl of cherries that we think. It's downright painful sometimes. It's disappointing. It's strange. But yet, we do the best with what we can do. And that what we can't do, we put it in God's hands to do. So again, give yourself some grace. I'm going to try to give myself some grace. I keep talking about I haven't unpacked all the things. And, you know, it's not that much. But in my mind, it's more than enough. Because I think I should have been settled in here. Everything should have been done and all of this stuff. And I don't know where I got that from. You know, it should have been done already. Don't tell yourself that. That will make you feel worse. Do not tell yourself it should have been done already. Maybe it should have been done already. But don't tell yourself that. All right? All right. Love you all. Talk to you later.
Don't worry about me. I'ma be all right.